One of the most dangerous things that can threaten our future of survival as a species is ourselves, human beings, and the possibility of our extinction through nuclear war, either on purpose or by accident. Most Americans have never heard about how close they came to nuking their own country. But that's exactly what happened in January of 1961. It's become known as the Goldsboro Incident. At the time, the Cold War between the US and the Soviet Union was in full effect, and the Americans, courtesy of Strategic Air Command, used to keep a squadron of B-52 bombers armed with nuclear weapons in the air at all times. That means that 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, X amount of the American people had a nuclear device over their heads at some point in time. In this case, it was a Boeing Stratofortress bomber, being commanded by Major Walter S. Tulick and flown by pilots Captain Richard Hardin and First Lieutenant Adam Maddox. It flew out of Seymour Johnson Air Force Base in North Carolina with a total crew of 8, and the bomber was armed with 2 thermonuclear bombs, each with an explosive yield of 2 to 4 megatons. These are around 12 feet long and roughly 6,700 pounds, and to give you an idea, these were around 250 times the explosive power of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The weapons could be detonated in 2 ways, either by immediate contact with the ground or by laydown, which means that several parachutes would open before the detonation, giving the bomber a safer time frame to clear the blast zone. John F. Kennedy had been in office for 3 days when the B-52 was scheduled to meet up with the tanker to refuel midair. It was suddenly announced that the aircraft had a fuel leak in the right wing. Orders were given to have the aircraft in a holding pattern and patrol until it burned up more fuel. The bomber lost 5,400 gallons, or 37,000 pounds of jet fuel in just 3 minutes, and the orders to have them return to Seymour Johnson Air Force Base were given pretty quick after finding that out. The jet fuel in the other wing in the plane made the aircraft unbalanced. The right wing sheared away, and the crew had to eject from the plane. Of the 8 crew members, 5 survived. 1 was killed on impact with the ground, and the other 2 couldn't eject from the craft. When the B-52 broke into pieces, both bombs fell to the ground of North Carolina. One of the bombs buried itself more than 180 feet deep in the ground, and the other was found lodged into the bough of a tree, still connected to its parachute. They were both recovered, and what was found was astonishing. It was determined the only thing that kept the bomb from exploding and causing a horrific amount of damage and death was 1 single switch out of 4, which was found to be defective. In a now declassified report from 1969 titled Goldsboro Revisited, a supervisor of nuclear safety was quoted with saying that 1 simple dynamo technology low-voltage switch is all that stood between the United States and a major nuclear catastrophe. A historical marker 3 miles away from the crash site in the town of Eureka, North Carolina, is the only reminder of how close a large piece of United States territory came to being completely vaporized.